Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Beauty of Grey. Today, I am joined by Jake. Hello, Jake.
Hey.
Hello, Michelle. So,
Hello.
we may have a little bit of a delay today because we are all experiencing kind of Wi-Fi issues. So, we're going to try our best with this episode. We'll try to keep it short and sweet, just because we know we're going to be cutting in and out. We blame it on the terrible air quality from the wildfires. Anyone else want to blame it on anything else?
Um, I blame it on Pfizer. Thanks, Pfizer.
I blame it on Big Pharma. Pharma's taking my Wi-Fi from my house. They took my daughter. They took my Wi-Fi.
Oh my gosh. I'm doing on the last three brain cells I have working right now. So
again, we're sorry. So blame Big Pharma, Pfizer, and whoever else you want to blame. So guys, for today, I don't even know what she just said. So I think for today, I don't even know what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about glamour magic and glamour adjacent craft. And because I don't really know about it, look at Jake's face. I am going to send this to Jake. Jake, tell us a little bit about glamour magic, please.
Oh, I didn't know what kind of wig I should wear for today. Hello. Yes. So, okay. Glamour magic. Okay, so glamour magic is one that Michelle and I are very fond of. You can use it in several different ways, but the way that I kind of approach glamour magic or explain it is it's essentially kind of you know how we all kind of look through life through a certain lens, and we're kind of taking energy into our own hands, magic into our own hands, and we are affecting the lens that people perceive us through. So if we're looking to have a glamour for maybe radiating more beauty or radiating confidence, you know, we might use something like a physical tool, or maybe using some kind of energetic, I don't know if you want to call it cloaking or filtering of some sorts, to present yourself in a light or present yourself in a facet of this diamond that we are, that's favorable for you. And you can use glamours for not just, you know, things like, oh, I want somebody to find me more attractive or something like that. You can do it for having more confidence in a setting that you might have otherwise anxiety in, or perhaps even seeming like when you're going into a new workspace, you know, putting up a glamour that is inviting, a glamour that's maybe agreeable, or that, you know, kind of favors people a little bit better towards you. You can kind of use it in many different ways, which we'll get into.
How about for you, Michelle, when you hear glamour magic, what is something that you currently do in your practice?
Well, honestly, it's a lot of very basic stuff that you would think about on a regular basis that, like, you know, when I sit down and you know, put on my makeup and, like, you know, the brushes that I use and the makeup that I use and things like that, like that's all, like I will sit with it and set an intention with it, and it automatically, like, yes, like, you know, makeup and like the clothes that you wear, of course, like there's going to be an element of confidence that comes with that, depending on what you're putting on your face and what, you know, what you're wearing and things like that. But I definitely like to put that little oomph into it. Like it's honestly, like, glamour magic is pretty much something that I do almost every single day because to it helps me get my day going. If I don't do it, I don't feel right, because I don't feel like me. Like, it's because it definitely, it amps up the confidence 100%. You know, like it's I don't know why it's difficult for me to explain, because it's just something that I've always done. It's something that I've always done ever since I was a kid. Because I had gotten my hands on this, like, this this book when I was younger, and it was just basically just practicing self-love through witchcraft.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
and there was a lot of stuff about, like, glamour and like, and how using glamour spells to just boost your confidence, because, like, you know, you do, for the most part, you know, you're gonna look the way you look, but when you feel differently inside and you amp up that energy, that's going to completely change the outward appearance. You know, it's like when you tell people to be like, oh, just have confidence, and, you know, like, they're a confident human being, you're automatically drawn to that person. You automatically feel like that they're you know, they're like this wonderful human being because they're exuding a level of confidence that is that's desirable, I guess. But that also can come with a lot of using some glamour magic techniques.
So,
Mhm.
what are some glamour magic techniques that you guys might feel comfortable in sharing?
Oh yeah. So let me think of a couple off the top of my head. So I love to use, I mean, I love the power of perfumes. The perfumes and colognes in my work.
Mm-hmm.
Aromatherapy and working with scent is really such a sweet spot for me. So for me personally, for my glamours, I love to work with carnelian. In
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the work that I do, and as far as glamour goes. So what I do is I take pieces, I put them in a bottle with whatever scent I like to wear. For me, I really am partial to an orange or a vanilla scent. So I'll make some kind of spray, a body spray. I prefer to do a blend of orange and vanilla, and then I've got carnelian in there. So when I'm dousing myself in that, I'm really embracing that energy of that carnelian and kind of coating myself in this, because carnelian, for the people that are listening, is about standing in your power and being very inviting, being like alluring of
Mm-hmm.
sorts too. It's, of course, it's a very grounding stone, so it's a very comforting stone, but it is definitely a stone that's great for people who are starting to date again, or for people who are in settings where you're meeting new people or having to network. People just really seem to kind of gravitate towards that stone's energy. So I really love to use it in my scents, but I also even love to work with, and again, this is all, physical stuff, but I like to even use something like a rose quartz jade roller on my face. In the morning, you're just kind of
Mm.
imbuing that into you. If you're somebody that wears makeup, even the whole, like, I just remember being a young child, and that's where I got like my first love story with glamour magic, is just watching my mom do her makeup in her vanity and just watching the brushes, watching the powders and the
Mm-hmm.
mascara, and just everything coming to life, kind of like the Cinderella moment, where that dress all comes together and then all of a sudden you are like ready to take on the day.
Oh, I love
um
that.
and I was just always so enamored by that ritual, of that
Mm-hmm.
getting judged up. There's something about it that is just really like putting on battle armor for me.
How about for you, Michelle?
Absolutely. No, I agree 100%. That and that's so funny because when you brought up like watching, your mom put on makeup, like that's something that like that's a lot of the reason why back in the day I'd become a cosmetologist, just because like that's like, watching, like my mother was always somebody that was always so put together, and she always exuded, she was a very quiet confidence. She wasn't as like in your face as I can sometimes be, but she was definitely somebody that demanded a sort of respect just by how she conveyed herself, and how like the makeup that how she would do her hair, the clothes that she would pick, all of that combines into it is a form of that glamour magic, like stuff that I do on a regular basis. Like I don't usually like I'll sometimes, like I have rose quartz and stuff that I'll keep like with my makeup, but I usually work more so with like incantations, because I feel like that for me.
She incantated herself away.
Oh my god, that was the coolest magic trick.
Jake, you want to talk a little bit about before, I don't know if Michelle hops back, maybe what kind of incantations would you do with glamour magic? I can't even say the
um
word. That's why I don't do it.
Oh my God. So I'm gonna leave incantations up to Michelle.
Okay.
I am definitely somebody who likes to be a little bit more off the cuff, or just
Okay.
in the way that I like to do craft work. It's a little bit,
I mean, I will
funnier.
say that I do feel like before we get Michelle back, is that I think a lot of people are doing glamour magic and we probably don't even realize it. Like
Yeah.
setting the intention of, okay, I'm gonna be confident, or I'm putting on my makeup, and we've lost Michelle completely. Hopefully she comes back. Guys, this is the best magic trick I've ever seen in my life.
It's so good.
Abracadabra. Um,
Oh my God, she's
but
gonna appear in one of our screens.
hello. And there goes Michelle. Um, but no, I mean, I think like, energy follows intention. And, I definitely call on a lot of things to pull in, to be more confident, to be more comfortable and being visible, so I think that maybe it may be called something different for me than glamour magic, but it does seem, for me, it seems very similar. You know, like I
Yeah.
might wear a certain, you know, essential oil to connect me with the deity. I know that's not necessarily glamour magic, but it connects me, and maybe I want to tap into that power of that goddess, you
Yeah.
know.
I mean, that is a very good point, because you can do a similar thing when working with deity or working with a certain archetype, even. Because it is really channeling of sorts, is what we're doing here. You know, we're channeling into a concept or channeling into an idea of confidence, of boldness, of sexiness, you know, whatever that might be for people listening to. And so personally, sometimes the work that I do is, if I want to just slow down the wheels a little bit, I do a lot of work personally with Kuan Yin. So I'll choose to kind of channel in that energy and almost imagine it as kind of like this bubble that I'm in, and that she's kind of informing my mannerisms, my words, the way that I'm stepping back and interpreting and thinking about a situation.
You know, as you're saying that, that brings me to kind of like mediumship, where you're blending spirit. Would you say
Yeah.
that's similar to that, or is it something a little bit different?
You know what? I will say that that's a little bit different, but at the same time, I think that there's easy ways to kind of intersect many different ways like that.
Yeah.
You know, even for those who don't necessarily work with spirit, quote unquote, like that, but will pray to Saint Michael or things like
Yeah.
that, will kind of call him in and channel him into the energy and the way that you present yourself, and in the way to how you navigate life and what you accept to kind of come your way.
Our girl is back. Hello, Michelle. Maybe.
God, all we were missing was like some smoke and then to appear, and that really would have been fierce. Just a note for next time.
So I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get Michelle with the incantations. Definitely want to hit more on that for sure. Jake, anything else that you want to add about glamour magic? I think what we'll do is we'll probably end this episode early, and then we'll just do another topic on glamour magic again. That way we can get Michelle's viewpoint. Anything else, Jake, you want to add?
Yeah.
Poof, gone. She's gone again. What the
Oh my
heck?
God, this is a 2-for-1 magic special. I love it. Yeah, so you can do a lot of different things with glamour magic, and especially for people who want to just imbue their day with maybe groundedness or self-confidence, empowerment, you can always use something like a hand mirror. You can write on the back of a little mirror. You can write it, you know, if you put a mirror up in your room, write on the back of that affirmations, or you can write just intentions that you're trying to imbue. So, and then the intention is when you look into that mirror, it's reflecting back to you, you know.
Like
that is a fun little veiling technique there.
that is awesome.
But yeah, and you know, even just if anybody is familiar with the movie The Craft, like what you had said, that was kind of, you know, what you would think of, it is a little bit similar to that. So if you want just like raw baseline tools, imagine yourself just kind of thinking or holding on to whatever embodiment you're trying to step into, confidence, strength, whatever. Think about that, feel that in your body, feel that in your mind, and then just kind of, you know, pull your hands around your face. Imagine like you're kind of putting that over you, like
a force
body
field
wash.
almost.
Yes. And you are, then that's right for you. And if you have a different way of doing it, I love it. But that is a fun, easy way that you guys can start to kind of tap into that at home. Again, you can dress yourself with crystals or imbue sprays, things like that. Whatever you want to do that resonates, super. I love it. Have fun. But even something as simple as that is totally fine and powerful.
I think that's a great starting point for glamour magic. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pick this up on our next episode. That way we can get Michelle's viewpoint in it. So I'm going to say thank you all so much for listening and bearing with our Wi-Fi. And Jake, thank you so much.
Thank you everybody for listening. I'm going to go hunt down Michelle from the in-between.
Good luck. Michelle, we love you.